If you're under 50 years old, the government has already told you that the money you've been paying into Social Security your entire life might not be there when you retire. And here's the part that should terrify you. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's in the official government report. Every 2 weeks, money gets pulled out of your paycheck. 6.2% of everything you earn goes to something called FICA. That's Social Security. Your employer matches it, so 12.4% of your wages disappear into this system. For the average American worker, that's about $200,000 over a lifetime. You've been told this money is being saved for you, that when you hit retirement age, it'll be there, waiting. But according to the Social Security Administration's own numbers, the trust fund will be depleted by 2033. That's less than 9 years from now. So how did we get here? Let's go back to 1935. The Great Depression had destroyed the economy. Elderly Americans were starving in the streets. Franklin Roosevelt created Social Security as a safety net. The idea was simple. Workers pay in during their working years, they collect when they retire. And for decades, it worked beautifully. Here's why. In 1945, there were 42 workers paying into the system for every one retiree taking money out. 42 to 1. The math was easy. The system printed money. By 1965, that ratio had dropped to 5 workers per retiree. Still manageable. Today, it's 2.8 workers per retiree. And it's getting worse every single year. 10,000 baby boomers retire every single day. Every single day. They're living longer than any generation in history. Many will collect Social Security for 20, even 30 years. Meanwhile, birth rates have collapsed. There aren't enough young workers entering the system to replace them. The math doesn't work anymore. It can't work. Now here's what they don't tell you in high school economics class. That money coming out of your paycheck, it's not going into a savings account with your name on it. It's not being invested. It's not sitting in a vault somewhere. It's being sent directly to current retirees right now, today. Social Security isn't a retirement account. It's a transfer system. Your grandparents aren't living off the money they paid in during the 1970s. They're living off the money you are paying in right now. This is called a pay-as-you-go system. And when there were 42 workers for every retiree, it was sustainable. But now we're approaching a cliff. The Social Security Administration has been sounding the alarm for years, not secretly, publicly. Every year they release a trustees report, and every year the numbers get worse. In 2023, Social Security paid out $1.4 trillion, but it only collected $1.2 trillion in payroll taxes. That's a $200 billion shortfall in 1 year. They make up the difference by dipping into the trust fund. That's the reserve they built up during the good years, but that reserve is burning fast. So what actually happens when the trust fund runs dry in 2033? Social Security doesn't disappear completely. That's the good news. The system will still collect payroll taxes. Money will still come in. But here's the painful part. Benefits will be cut by approximately 23% across the board. Let me put that in real numbers. If you're supposed to receive $2,000 a month in retirement, you'll get $1,540 instead. $460 every single month for the rest of your life. For someone who retires at 67 and lives to 85, that's a loss of over $99,000. And that's assuming the 23% cut is where it stops. If demographics continue to worsen, if fewer young workers enter the system, if people live even longer, that cut could go deeper. Some economists predict cuts as high as 30% or even 35% by the 2040s. Now you might be thinking, why doesn't the government just fix this? Great question. There are really only 3 options. Option 1, raise the retirement age. Instead of collecting at 67, maybe you have to wait until 70 or 72. Option 2, increase payroll taxes. Instead of taking 6.2% from your paycheck, maybe they take 8% or 10%. Option 3, cut benefits, which is what's already scheduled to happen automatically. Every option is political poison. Raise the retirement age? You're asking people who've worked their whole lives to wait longer while their bodies break down. Raise taxes? Americans are already stretched thin. Wages have barely kept up with inflation for decades. Cut benefits? You're taking money from the elderly, the most reliable voting bloc in the country. So, instead of making a hard choice, politicians from both parties have kicked the can down the road for 30 years. Let me tell you what this looks like in real life. Meet Susan. She's 58 years old. She's worked as a teacher for 35 years. She's paid into Social Security every single paycheck, over $150,000 total. She's been planning to retire at 67. She's done the math. Between her small pension and Social Security, she'll have just enough to live modestly. Now she's being told that when she retires in 2034, her Social Security check will be 23% smaller than promised. Her rent doesn't go down by 23%. Her medical bills don't drop by 23%. Her groceries cost the same. So what does she do? She works longer. Her knees hurt, her back aches, but she can't afford to stop. Or consider Michael. He's 32. He's paying into a system that he has almost no faith will be there for him. Every paycheck he sees that FICA deduction and wonders if he's just throwing money into a black hole. He's trying to save for retirement on his own, but after rent, student loans, and Social Security taxes, there's barely anything left. He's being asked to fund his parents' retirement while being told his own retirement is in jeopardy. This is the reality for millions of Americans right now. Here's the uncomfortable truth about what's really happening. America is experiencing a demographic collapse that most people don't fully understand yet. The birth rate in the United States is 1.6 children per woman. You need 2.1 just to maintain the population. We're not replacing ourselves. Every single developed country is facing this same crisis. Japan, Germany, Italy, South Korea. The entire economic system of the modern world was built on an assumption that there would always be more young people than old people. That assumption is breaking, and Social Security is just the first domino. Medicare is in even worse shape. It's projected to be insolvent by 2031, 2 years earlier than Social Security. The entire social safety net of the United States is built on a demographic foundation that no longer exists. This isn't a left or right issue. This isn't about Democrat or Republican. This is math. Cold, hard, unavoidable math. And the longer we wait to address it, the more painful the solutions become. So here's what you need to understand. The Social Security crisis isn't coming. It's already here. The checks won't stop completely, but they will get smaller. And if you're counting on Social Security to fund your retirement, you need a backup plan. Start saving now. Invest in a 401k or IRA. Build assets that you control. Because the government has already told you in plain language in official reports that anyone can read that the promise they made might not be one they can keep. Your financial security is your responsibility. The system you've been paying into your entire life is running on empty, and the clock is ticking.